Baruch, good morning. Shavua Tov. We're going to continue with the Halacha we started last week. We mentioned that there are different terminologies and different Sidurim available on the shelves. We said there are Ashkenaz Sidurim, there are Sephardi Sidurim. We also mentioned that there's Arizal, and then there's our tradition, the Edut Mizrach Sidur. We mentioned that obviously we hold that our tradition and the customs of the terminology in the Sidur is obviously the most valid, and that's obviously why we use it. Now, what happens if we find ourselves as Sephardim praying in an Ashkenaz minyan? There are definitely a couple questions. The greatest question that arises, we're going to address the two greatest questions. The first one would be when they do their Kedusha, meaning for the repetition of the Amidah, they don't say Naktishach the way we do it. They have a different terminology. Are you supposed to say it their way or say it our way? Halacha L'Masich Yosef says you say it as the proper way that you normally say it. Even though they're not saying, the rest of the congregation is not saying the same words, we still say it as the way it says in our Sidur. For the main parts, for example, like Kadosh, 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 and Imloch, anyways, they're going to be saying it along. But for the preceding part, the Naktishach will say Naktishach, the V'naritzach, instead of Nekadesh et Shemach. Okay, that's halacha number one. Similarly, if we have on Shabbat or on Musaf, Keter, they don't do Keter, they do different, especially Shabbat morning, according to the Ashkenaz custom, is a long Kiddusha. There is no need for us to sing along, read along with them. Rather, we do our regular Keter, even though they are not saying that. That's the first halacha. Second halacha is, within the 12 months of one passing, there are two things that are done. First of all, everyone does, is the Kaddish. And after that, there are those who are able to do Chazan. Try to lead the congregation and do Chazan as much as possible within the 12 months. It doesn't mean every single Arvit, Shachrit, Mincha, but as much as possible, they have precedence. There's certain hierarchy and precedence who goes up to do Hazanut. We're talking obviously during the week. And an Avel, Betoch 12 Chodesh, an Avel within 12 months, does have a certain amount of precedence. Now, having said that, and again, this is only if a person feels comfortable that they're able to get up and lead the congregation. Having said that, what happens if you as a Sephardi find yourself in an Ashkenaz Bet Knesset? Are you going to go up and pray like Ashkenaz, or pray like a Sephardi, or Shev Ve'al Ta'aseh Adif, don't do any of the above? Halacha L'Mas says as follows. If the congregation will allow you to pray like a Sephardi, that's what you should do, if they will allow. So that's up to their discretion. And if they don't, Chavadi Yosef says, Shev Ve'al Ta'aseh Adif, better not to read according to our tradition, an incorrect vernacular and terminology of the prayer, rather than fulfilling that minhag of being a chazan during the 12 months. So it's quite serious. The same thing when it comes to the Kaddish. Coming to the Kaddish still as a Sephardi, when you pray with Ashkenaz minyan, you still say it like a Sephardi. Nowadays, most Ashkenaz minyans, they understand that when there are Sephardim praying with the same minyan, that when we add Vaitzmach Pur Kaneh V'Karev Mishicheh, right? They don't say that. They pause. They allow the Sephardi to say it, and then everyone answers Amen together. Because again, the correct way is for Sephardi not to change their tradition or their minhag, even when they're praying elsewhere. Now, it's not. I'm gonna emphasize. It's not like we're gonna go in Chas Shalom. We're sticking it in front of them, and we're like trying to be different on purpose. No, that's our tradition. That's their tradition. We have to remember that when we pray in an Ashkenaz minyan, nevertheless you are a guest. And if they tell you that it's disruptive or they don't let you be chazan, the matter would have to be dealt with. Again, if you're a Sephardi and Ashkenaz minyan, you have to remember that you're a guest and that you're not there to impress upon your customs onto others. You need to keep them for yourself. However, respect and honor to the hosts definitely are warranted and definitely needed. Is that Hashem this week?
What about sitting and standing for Kaddish?